Good morning. I'm so happy to be here. My name is Michelle and I'm with Olive and 2U Studios. Typically, there is a video posted every single Saturday morning, whether it's live or pre-recorded. And today I'm here live. So welcome if you're here with me live. I see a lot of our Yarny U's here this morning. So thank you so much. I'm so happy to see you here. And if you're watching later, welcome to you as well. I'm so happy that you've joined us. If you haven't already done so, I invite you to subscribe to the channel. That way you don't miss anything that we put out for you. And give us a thumbs up during the broadcast, if you will. That lets us know that you like what we're putting out and that you want more of it. It also lets YouTube know that you like this sort of content. So I'm so happy to be here. I know that I've been ill and it's been a little dodgy lately. I'm still not 100%, but I'm definitely a lot better and so grateful for that. And I'm so grateful to the community and to the audience for giving me the grace to take some time to kind of rest up and take care of myself a little bit. I was talking with a friend this morning briefly about the fact that you really do sometimes have to put your mask on, you know, the old airplane sort of analogy. You have to put your mask on before you can take care of anybody else. So I've been trying to put my mask on this week and take care of myself so that I hopefully can give 100% to the community going forward. So I will tell you that my brain is still a little slow. So it's very possible that I'll make some mistakes. Sometimes when I make mistakes, it's rather hilarious. Kind of like last week. Wasn't so funny to me at the time. Now I can laugh about it. I went live last week at 9 o'clock in the morning and I was like, there's nobody here. Like, what happened? Did they all go away? And then people started trickling in and they were like, oh, did the time change? Is the live like now at 9 instead of 9:30? And I'm like, no, that would just be my crazy addled brain. So yeah, I don't know what was going on last week. My brain's been a little off. So, and in the spirit of full transparency, I'm always happy to tell you that I'm an oversharer. And so I appreciate your grace. Hopefully my brain is back in gear. So good to see so many of you today. Kim is here. Tracy's here. Rhonda's here. Belinda, Julie, Lonnie. Everybody's talking about the weather. It's cold. Valera, Katrin. Oh, I love it when you guys show up. So thank you so much. Diana's here. She says from a slightly milder Ontario. They're in a warm-up phase. It is definitely chilly here in Florida. I'm wearing my merino undershirt today, which is so cozy, if I can just tell you that, and a yummy sweater. And I'm fairly comfortable. And this morning, you all know that I typically drink cold Starbucks. This morning, it was a hot one. It was a gingerbread chai. And let me just tell you, it was really good. Okay, we have got stuff to get to today, including an Epic WIPs segment. I've been promising you that. Last week, we did some WIPs as well. And you'll notice that some of these are a little old, that they've been posted in the group a little while ago. But that's just because I've been sick and I haven't been on top of it. So it'll be fun today to recap some of those older WIPs. Obviously, I couldn't catch all of them. So I apologize if you were hoping to get your WIP on the show and it's not today. But I'm always trying to kind of do a round robin and get as many people as I can. But before we get into WIPs, there's a couple things that I want to share with you that I'm super excited about. First of all, our 2025 Cancer Awareness Series for this year that kicked off in January, kicked off with a bang. And we only have you all to thank for that. The Yarny U's have really shown up. They've been purchasing the yarn and doing the things. And I'm really pleased to say, I'm going to give you the exact figure. It was in the newsletter this morning. I'm getting ready to write a check for $121.67 just from January. Now, we have pledged and we'll follow through on donating 25% of the profits of all of the Cancer Series colorways this year to specific foundations each month that deal specifically with the cancer of the month that we're highlighting. So the American Cancer Society does publish a calendar, and on it, there are cancers each month. Some months only have one cancer for awareness, and other months have as many as 4 to 6. Some months are really busy. So what we're going to be doing going forward is each month we'll focus on one of those cancers, though Sherry and Terry have got a really unique way to deal with the colors from all of them each month. So you're going to have an opportunity to purchase colors for pretty much all the cancers that are mentioned. in one way or the other, but we're focusing on one cancer typically every month, as well as bringing awareness to the others. So last month it was cervical cancer, and we're getting ready to donate those dollars to a foundation that deals specifically with awareness and research for cervical cancers. This month, they are very, gosh, I want to be careful about the word I choose. I was going to say low key. No cancer is low key. They are often not talked about cancers. That's probably not the most eloquent way to say that, but they are cancers that are not mostly, you don't hear about commonly. And that is gallbladder and bile duct cancers, cancers of the gallbladder and the bile duct. And one of the things that I learned about those particular cancers, specifically gallbladder, when I was doing a little bit of research, is that's one of those cancers that we really don't have a lot of early signs for. So people don't typically find out they have an issue until they have some pain in their gallbladder and they have to go in for like gallbladder surgery, and then they find out. So definitely awareness needs to be brought to those sort of underspoken about cancers. And this month is that month. So February is Gallbladder and Bile Duct Cancer Awareness Month. The color is a Kelly green. And so I'm going to show it to you and explain a couple things. Let me just say before I start showing it, these colors have already started literally flying off the shelves. Some of them that have already been ordered, I've already shipped out, so they're already out the door. Other orders are going to be happening on Monday, of course. And so they're going really, really fast. We tried to anticipate the correct number to die based on the orders in January because we were blown away by the response in January. I severely underordered the number that we would need. And so we did a pre-order to try to catch up to make sure that everybody received those colors. And going forward, we're not planning to do pre-orders. If I find out this month that we've really grossly underestimated again, then we will definitely bump up for next month. And there might be a chance a little bit later in the year to catch up, but there's no promises there. Typically, as they sell out, they will be sold out. So you want to go ahead and snag them really quickly. We had a lot of orders over the last couple of days. They went live on Thursday, and I did go live in the Yarny Use to let everybody know in the Yarny Use that they were available. Orders started coming in immediately. We've had more orders this morning. So if you like it, I really recommend, again, 2 devices is a great plan for the Saturday morning live or for any time that I go live, even in the Yarny Use, so that you're all ready. So I'm going to show them to you. Mean Green Fighting Machine is the name of the colorway, which I love. It's a little long for our label, so just be aware of that. If you get it and you're not going to use it immediately and you're going to toss it in your stash for a really meaningful project later on, make a note of the whole colorway maybe and put a sticky on it. We're going to work on limiting our names a little bit, but it's so hard because they're really working to come up with great names, and I love the names. But they're a little long for the label with 2025 Cancer Awareness Series Mean Green Fighting Machine. That is a mouthful. So this is Mean Green Fighting Machine on Twain. I'm going to try to keep the colors back here a little bit so that it doesn't bleach them out. Take the cuff off. That's the colorway. It is a beautiful variegated tone-on-tone Kelly green, and it has those beautiful tone-on-tone speckles. Okay, I'm going to hold a little closer now. You can see a very light speckling on some of these. Some of the speckles are hidden by the twist. And then you see this fun little friend here. This is the little kind of custom stitch marker. Every 100-gram hank comes with a custom stitch marker that coordinates with the color. Ann Michael of Twin Mommy Creations is crafting these for us, and we're very grateful to her for that. And it is a lever back stitch marker, which means it's removable. So it's not a solid ring. You can put it on and take it off your projects. I know crocheters particularly love that style of stitch marker. Plus, it works as a great progress keeper. And you're going to want to definitely collect these because in the end, you'll have a collection of many of the colors of the cancer ribbons, according to the colors by the American Cancer Society. So each 100-gram hank comes with your custom stitch marker attached. And then I'll show you the other bases here in just a second. Let me put this on. I don't want to mess that up with the cuff and the stitch marker. So you're going to receive your 100-gram hank with the stitch marker attached. And then you're also going to receive this little business size card that 2025 Cancer Awareness Series. This one's is for February. There was one for January. It has a QR code that you can scan, and it takes you directly to our website to the Cancer Awareness Series page that will each month. It has all the information about the cancers of the month as well as the program in general for the entire year. So it has that for you, so you can keep these, tuck these away, and then you've got them. The information that we're providing oftentimes will contain hyperlinks to foundations or other organizations that provide more awareness information and or help. So you'll want to keep those as well. So each 100-gram hank comes with the stitch marker and then this little card. And so I'll show it to you on Rawlings. This is Rawlings, this beautiful drapey Rawlings. Again, you've got your stitch marker, those beautiful colors, and the tone-on-tone speckles that bespeckle the hank. I love that so much. And then we're also offering it on Play-Doh. Look at that. Now, Play-Doh looks a little deeper because it's a heavier weight yarn, so you have slightly more concentration of the color. But isn't that so, so beautiful with your little stitch marker and then, of course, your card. So I'm seeing your comments about being grateful for it. And so many of us have, in fact, lost, family members or dear friends to the various cancers. So thank you for your encouragement on that. Good morning, Cindy. And Kathy says, I like this. Thank you. Well, we like it too. It was Sherry and Terry's idea. And I said, let's roll with it. And I'm so glad we did. I've shared before that my own sister passed away from cancer at the young age of 46 and with only a month's notice before she passed. So this is very near and dear to my heart as well. So that's Mean Green Fighting Machine on the 100-gram hanks. Now you also have the opportunity to get Mean Green Fighting Machine. It has the same name, but it is slightly different on the smaller hanks. We're offering on Alcott and Hawthorne. And I think if I saw correctly, I want to say Hawthorne might be sold out on this. And this is just a really nice, solid Kelly green. So it coordinates perfectly with the Mean Green Fighting Machine. It'd be great for socks or a shawl that you want to add a little pop of deeper color to. So you can also get the 20-gram minis in Alcott or Hawthorne as well. They do not come with the stitch marker or the card, but they're great to have in your stash and wonderful to have on hand. And they're a nice adjunct to the 100-gram hanks. So that is Mean Green Fighting Machine. Beautiful, beautiful green, and just in time for St. Patrick's Day as well. So you might want to order a little extra for St. Patrick's Day. Of course, if you get your 100-gram hank with your stitch marker and your card and you're like, oh my gosh, I need like 4 more hanks of that for a project, then all you have to do is email me, contact me through the website, and we'll set up a special order for 3 or more hanks of 100-gram hanks. We can absolutely do that. And Sherry and Terry are actually getting special orders out pretty quickly. So they are staying so busy in the dye studio. So that is Mean Green Fighting Machine. Now, I want to mention to you, February as a whole is also Cancer Awareness Month for all the cancers. And so Sherry and Terry have come up with another beautiful colorway called We Won't Rest that right now is available on the minis. And that's the kind of periwinkle lavender color for Cancer Awareness Month for February. So it's a nice item to pick up as well. And these two are going really, really quickly. So that is We Won't Rest. Now, incidentally, right now, our gift with purchase offer is still on, and it's almost over because we're almost completely out of it. So right now, for just a few more orders, when you order $50 or more, we're going to send you a hank of Cancer Awareness Month Lavender Hope, which looks suspiciously like We Won't Rest. It is, but it's a different weight, and so I called it something different. So this is Lavender Hope. You'll receive this mini Cummings hank. You'll receive this little exclusive acrylic pen that says February is National Cancer Awareness Month, and it's got an array of cancer ribbons, cancer awareness ribbons on it to kind of show that it's Cancer Awareness Month as a whole. And then you'll also receive this limited edition coaster that matches. That's with your purchase of $50 or more, but that's almost exhausted. So you want to go ahead and get your order in now, and so you can get your free gift with purchase. It's always nice to have a little Cummings minis in your stash as well. So that's what's going on with the Cancer Awareness Series. And I am so delighted. I can't wait to write that check. I'll be writing that Monday and getting that off to the organization that deals specifically with cervical cancers. I'll also so a little something I was like on the fence about telling you, but you know me, I can't hardly keep much of a secret. I'm working on something to offer everyone the ability to have a memorial page on our website as well. The way that will work, because I don't have the ability to give everybody access to post on our site, is I'll come up with the parameters, let you know, and then you'll email me the information that I need. And then we will start a memorial page on the website for the entire year of the 2025 Cancer Awareness Series. That's my goal. Stay tuned. I'll give you the details. But I think it's really important for everybody to have a chance to tell their stories. Since we opened up the Cancer Awareness Series in January, I've received so many emails, text messages, notes, even in the mail, with people saying, I'm so glad that you're doing this. Let me tell you my story. I had somebody contact me yesterday on Instagram who is a stage 4 lymphoma survivor. I've had people who are currently going through chemotherapy. Folks like that are struggling or have lost special people to them, friends or family. And, telling your story is really healing, I think. And I think very often, especially we as women, I'm going to try not to wax too philosophical here, but we as women, sometimes I think we feel like, oh, I don't want to bore people with that story. I've told that story too many times. I don't want to wear people out. And I think it's important to be able to tell our stories, to share about our family members, our friends, our children, our grandparents who have passed from specific cancers. And so I'm trying to, in a very tiny, tiny way, offer a space for that on our page. So stay tuned for that. And I'll get you the details as those are developed, hopefully within the next couple of weeks. So I hope that's something that you will find helpful and healing and have a place to go to. And it'll be a limited space in terms of, because it's only so much space, but I want to give everybody the opportunity to share their stories. I think this is so, so important. All right. So that is what's happening with the 2025 Cancer Series. And I appreciate all of your encouragement. I appreciate your care. And I really do think together we can continue to stitch hope and stitch a few dollars for the organizations that provide research and support to families dealing with these cancers. So thank you so, so much. Karen, so she's lost too many to cancer and have a younger cousin losing his battle at the moment. Very sorry. It is heart-wrenching when those things happen. So my thoughts definitely go out to you and everyone. My own family is currently in the throes of being touched by cancer again. My family has a lot of history in cancer. So I totally know what that's like going through it. So Mean Green Fighting Machine is the color for February. And I'm glad you all are appreciating the experience this year going through that Cancer Awareness Series. All right, so we talked about that. I want to move on to snowpocalypse. Who is still buried in snow? I can't raise my hand. No snow where I am in Florida. Definitely chilly temperatures, but I know that some of you are still dealing with snow. Well, the good news is you've got something really fun to look forward to if you took advantage of our pre-order not too long ago. So Sherry and Terry formulated a beautiful colorway for Snowpocalypse, and it's actually, I do believe, in transit to me right now. So as soon as it arrives, we'll be getting those pre-orders shipped out. I was kind of on the fence, but I wanted to show you. Look away if you don't want a sneak peek. It's only on my phone. It's only a photo, but I'm going to show you a sneak peek of Snowpocalypse, and it's exactly what I envisioned for this colorway. So they absolutely nailed it. And you know that we offered a palette for this colorway, so you'd have a chance to kind of see the colors that were in the offing for the colorway. So I want to show it to you really quickly if you want to see it. So turn away if you don't, if you want to be surprised in your shipment, but if you want to see it, let me show you a sneak peek. So that is Snowpocalypse. It's beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. You've got the soft pink, a little bit of the bare yarn showing through, and those gorgeous speckles with a little deeper blue in it as well. I'm going to come a little bit closer. It is beautiful, and it absolutely follows the palette that they had as well, and they did such a great job. I feel like they hit it out of the park. I am so glad that I ordered some for myself. My yarn stash, as you can imagine, is pretty burgeoning because I happen to be in the business of yarn, but I could not pass this up. I had the vision in my brain, and they apparently were on the same wavelength. and they dyed this gorgeous colorway. So we'll get that shipped out to you as quickly as possible as soon as it arrives. I'm very excited about it. Trying to think what I'm going to do with it. I'm actually thinking for me, I might do some color work in something like maybe a dark gray like this or something. I think it would be really, really beautiful. Karen says, yep, it'd be perfect for a BBT. I think it absolutely would. It'd be great, especially for like a summer BBT. That would be wonderful, or even one with long sleeves for winter or for fall. Great, great idea. So that'll be available. We'll definitely be able to roll out special orders of that. So if maybe you ordered a little bit, but you didn't order enough, just let me know and we can get you a special order of Snowpocalypse. I'm so excited about it. I think it's absolutely gorgeous. So it just speaks like those wintry pictures that we're all seeing of the kind of faded blue skies and the trees up against the light blue skyline, and maybe a few berries hanging out on some trees that didn't get snowed away. It just speaks winter to me. So I hope you like it as much, and I hope you enjoyed the sneak peek of Snowpocalypse. It's going to be so cool. All right, Lonely Hearts Club. Who's doing that? So many of you, we're going to see some WIPs of the Lonely Hearts Club, the Nomadic Knits Lonely Hearts Club project, which is a beautiful hat with hearts interspersed through it. And I know that that's been happening, and so many of you are doing hats. I know several of you have done multiple hats for that. Becky did a great pattern there. Excuse me. And it's beautiful. So we'll see some of that in the WIPs. I think she's still got kits available on the website. And as you know, Sherry and Terry, Lonesome Pine Yarn Works, who are the exclusive dyers behind the Olive and 2U brand, are the dyers behind those kits under the Olive and 2U label. And they've done a great job of that as well. So yeah, I'm very excited about the Lonely Hearts hats. I haven't done one myself yet. And I know at least one Yarn EU did one of Becky's earlier Lonely Hearts patterns, X's and O's. At least I think it was a Lonely Hearts pattern, or it might just have been a standalone pattern. So we'll see that in the WIP segment coming up in just a moment as well. So slow stitching is today. Today is the very last session for slow stitching. Mary Nielsen of M&M So Charming has done a great job doing our slow stitching instruction. We've all learned a lot, and there have been some beautiful, beautiful projects that have come out of that. In fact, we're going to see some of those in just a moment as well. Today's our last session, and it was supposed to be live here at Needleworks, but because my health has been a little on the bubble, we decided to call it a couple days ago because I didn't want to risk anybody getting sick, or I didn't know if I'd be able to be here for hours after the podcast. So Mary pre-recorded a wonderful video kind of showing everything that you need to know for the last session about wrapping up your projects and how to put them together into a cohesive project. That video has already been posted in the Slow Stitching group. So if you're in that group and we're part of that subscription series, that video is there for you now. And Mary and I are working on coming to you live in the group later this week for a little Q&A, like a little wrap up, a little Q&A. So if you have specific questions, start jotting those down. And Mary, who's the expert, I'll be there just for kicks, but Mary, who's the expert, will be happy to answer your slow stitching questions if you have specific questions, and make sure to be that support for you as you go forward with your slow stitching venture, because it never ends. And we've got some great projects for you as well to show in the WIP segment there. I promise we're going to get to in just a moment. So we'll see a little bit of the slow stitching going on. Oh, Cindy said that she's done a couple of the previous Lonely Hearts hats. They're really neat. And this time, one of the features of that particular pattern is a Latvian braid. That it's one of those great things that you can learn how to do, one of those skills that you can learn on a project like this. You kind of, it's a repetitive thing to do because you've got to create the whole braid. And then you walk away from that pattern having a new skill in your knitting bag of tricks, so to speak, in your repertoire. So I love that too. I think that's really, really neat. Karen's in love with Snowpocalypse. She loves the yarn. Don't suppose any yarn EUs are heading to the UK soon to be willing to be a yarn mule. I love it. Well, there's several yarn EUs that are heading to the UK in September, Karen. So if you decide you have to have it, let me know, and I'll bring it over with me in September for you. Yeah, our trip to Scotland we're so excited about. Very soon, I'll be releasing the date for a Zoom call. We're going to have all the Scotland travelers on a Zoom call so I can share some information. And in just a very short while, probably a week or less, it'll be time for you to start scheduling your flights. So I'm excited. We're getting ready to get our flight scheduled as well. And I'm so excited about the trip to Scotland. So Karen, you never know. Be a yarn mule. Absolutely could do that. All right, let's see here. One more thing I want to mention, fall and winter are quickly, well, fall's obviously done, but winter is quickly going to be melting into spring. And our tweeds are typically only here seasonally. So I want to show you some of our beautiful tweeds. We had a big order for one of these, well, for two of these colorways earlier this week. So I wanted to make sure that everybody had a chance because they too are dwindling. So beautiful tweed colorways. I'm going to go through these colorways really quickly for you. The link is in your newsletter this morning, so it's easy for you to shop, or you can simply search tweed on the website. So this is avocado. It's a beautiful, beautiful green with the nylon neps in it. Very tonal, beautiful. This is chili pepper. This one we're really low on inventory in. Chili pepper is kind of an orangey red, kind of a warmer red, again with the nylon neps. That's the tweed. Oatmeal is one of my favorite colors, kind of a soft, neutrally more natural color with the nylon neps in it. Blueberry is one color that everybody's been going crazy about. So gorgeous blueberry, rich tonal blues. That's just beautiful. I need to do a vest for Jim. I keep saying that. I think I've picked out a pattern now. And I think I'm going to do it in the blueberry because it's so beautiful. Then we have maple sugar. Gorgeous color. Reminds me of Vermont in that area with the maple. And then mouse gray, which I also love. I'm a fan of gray. It's a great neutral. Mouse gray is also beautiful tonal with the neps. So you've got some really beautiful tweed choices. All of them are wonderful, but you're not going to be able to get them all that much longer. Because they are typically seasonal here in the shop. Beautiful, beautiful colors. So the link is in your newsletter for the tweeds as well. Okay, I'm seeing more orders come through for the Cancer colorway and some other things. So I know that those are dwindling quickly. But while that's happening, I want to go ahead and get rolling with the WIPs because it is epic today. We've got lots of those going on. And I think it's always inspirational to see what everybody's working on. We learn about new patterns, we learn about new techniques, and it gives us a chance to go, oh, that's something I might want to do. So I want to get rolling with the WIPs. We're going to go through them and see what all you've been busy with. All righty, Diney, let's get rolling with the WIPs. Now, some of these we have patterns for, and the pattern links are down below in the show notes. And some of them are patterns that people don't reveal, like maybe it's a vanilla sock pattern or something that's just like their typical recipe. So be aware of that. Julie has been in our slow stitching group, and she shared with us that she actually started to pull this top away to use some of the elements for slow stitching. And I thought it was genius because that's one of the wonderful things that you can do with slow stitching is recycle and reuse fabrics or clothing that you've already got in your wardrobe. And you basically dissect them and keep the elements that you like. Sometimes people will keep a pocket. I imagine that Julie's going to keep these beautiful red birds and the boughs of the tree, and then she'll incorporate that at a later time into a project of her own for slow stitching. So I thought that was neat. I wanted to definitely highlight that. Katie Erickson, she was working on some yo-yos and she made this beautiful slow stitching project using various fabrics and a yo-yo maker, which was one of the tools that we introduced in one of our month's shipments. She did a great job with this and was kind of working on how to stitch it out and fix it up. And I just thought it was so incredibly striking. Well done, Katie. Next up, Cheryl Guin has also been in our slow stitching group, and she made this beautiful one. Now, this one was really close to my heart because it features a teacup and a kettle. And you know, I love all those things. But I love how she also used one of the yo-yos here, and then she used some buttons and other items as well as a doily. Just beautiful things in this to create a one-of-a-kind project. And she's been rolling like a house of fire on the slow stitching project. So it looks great, Cheryl. Next up, another one from Cheryl. This one is so striking. This was her third slow stitching page. Often in slow stitching, we work on pages. We don't have to. You can use slow stitching for any sort of medium that you desire. Lots of ways to create projects, but we kind of focused on pages. And she did this beautiful, beautiful page with Yorkshire buttons. So the Yorkshire button loom was another tool that we used in one of our month shipments. And then Mary taught how to use it. And Cheryl's so taken with the Yorkshire buttons that she says her next cardigan, she's definitely going to be making her own buttons. So what a great thing to do going forward. I love that. You can create yet another element for your hand knit items. That's so cool. Excuse me. Next up, Gail Paulos. So she worked on the Chevron Tank. Now she's part of the Great Yarny Whip Off. And I love this. She said this tank has been on her needles for at least 15 years. She had ripped out everything that she knitted 15 years ago last October, and she started over. And she finished the knitting in December. She's getting ready to sew up the seams. And can you imagine? She's finishing a project that's 15 years old. I think she deserves a cookie and a glass of milk. So that's wonderful. And that'll mean another sticker in her tracker. Another one who reached far back into their knitting whips was Lonnie Holt. So she too is part of the Whip Off 2025 challenge, the Great Yarny Whip Off. And she pulled up a project, what was called, she named The Summer of Her Divorce. It was a project from 2011, and she was finishing that up. So what a neat thing to finally finish up, put behind you, and move on to your next whip. The pattern for that was actually in a kit, but the link is down below in the show notes if you want to check it out. Tiffany Baker, she's working on her Lovetta Shawl, and I want to say that's by Amba O'Brien, maybe. She used the colors Watercolor Wednesday and Peach Fuzz from Olive and 2U, and she was loving the way that they looked together. And I did too. When she ordered those, I was like, oh yeah, that looks great. I know at least she ordered Watercolor Wednesday. I'm not sure if the Peach Fuzz was from her stash or not, but they look so, so good together. And again, the link to that pattern is down below, and it's a really neat pattern. I think it's very, very elegant. Mary Nielsen was at our Solely Socks event. She and Marjorie Moulet from M&M So Charming helped to provide some expertise for some of our participants for that event. It was a great day. One of the things that we offered was a sock blank dye experience where you just get to let your imagination run wild with color. You dye a sock blank and then you can roll it up. You can see in the bottom corner there, she unraveled her sock blank and wound it into 2 equal cakes of yarn, and she got two pairs of socks out of that. One was a shorty pair, one was a taller pair. And it's always so cool. You can see the sock blank there, how that was dyed up compared to how the socks actually turned out. I think that's always so interesting to see kind of that contrast between what was dyed and then what was actually knit or crocheted out of the yarn. I think that's so fascinating. Well done, Mary, on that. Maria Klein, she was wrapping up her 12 Days of Knitmas by Nomadic Knits, and she was using our Rawlings yarn in Queen of Tarts and then Twain in Pond Scum and Fingerlings, and she was hoping to have an FO. I'll have to follow up with her and make sure that ended up in the FO pile. Next up, here's one of these beautiful Lonely Hearts hats that was knit during this most recent Lonely Hearts event. Jamie finished her hat with Fields of Gold, and then which was the kit name that actually included the colorway Gold and Vitamin C, knit by Sherry and Terry for Olive and 2U, and it is absolutely beautiful. I love those colors together and the Latvian braid. You got a little less contrast on that, but I think it still created a really, really beautiful project. Katie does a lot of things, like so many of us. She's a multi-crafter. She crochets, she sews, she knits, she does all the things. And this was one of her quilts that she recently finished. And I love it. It looks like stained glass. Like she caught it at just the right angle. Looks like the sun is shining through from a wintry day. And it is so beautiful. I can envision that on one of my beds, but it's not my quilt. So it's a gorgeous quilt though, Katie. Well done on that. So many of us are multi-crafters. That's just how it works. Billy started, because Mary Nielsen, who's done so many gnomes, Billy started doing a gnome. And so she used leftover yarn from Whoville Socks. And look at that cute little gnome. I love the colors of that. It's just so whimsical looking. So I'm so impressed, Billy, that you kind of stood outside of your comfort zone and made the little gnome. I think he's absolutely adorable. All right, next up, Lonnie Holt. This was quite an ambitious project. She finished her Go Dynamo shawl by Stephen West, and it includes our Bronte from Olive and 2U Studios, 2 different colorways. It looks like 45 and 50 grams of Bronte, and it is gorgeous. I love that outdoor picture she took of that. How do y'all feel about posing with your knits? It's fun to do, especially if you got somebody else to do it. But I think Lonnie told me the secret. I think she used a timer on her camera. I was so impressed with that artistry as well, that she was able to take such a wonderful picture on her own. It's gorgeous. All right, Lonnie also, she's the one who did the X's and O's pattern by Becky from Nomadic Knits. This was released a couple years ago, I think. She used Bad Moon Rising and Candy Shards from Olive and 2U, and that is also a beautiful pattern. It'll be interesting in a few years for those who are kind of doing the Lonely Hearts from year to year to see all of the different hats that are created. At least I don't know if she plans on doing hats all the time, but you'd end up with a really nice collection of hats. I think that's a great idea. Becky Brown. Now, this was done some time ago. I wasn't sure if I had shown it, and I thought it really needed to be shown. This is her Hexie blanket. You might remember that a couple years ago, we did the Beekeeper's Quilt Club, and she participated in that. And so a lot of her yarn was the yarn that she received in her shipments for the Beekeeper's Quilt Club. And the yellow in the center was yarn that was dyed specifically for her. It's back when we had the ability for people to order whimsies based on certain color families. We might offer that again. Sherry and Terry were talking about that. You never know, that might show back up on the website. And that was yarn, that yellow was dyed specifically for Becky. I want to say it was named Becky's Bumblebees or something like that. I could be wrong, Becky. My apologies if I got that mixed up, but that Hexie blanket is gorgeous. All right, Star Carson, this was her first FO WIP of 2025. Bell Schnickel on Twain, held with Army on Wolf. Very soft, cozy, and squishy socks. Gorgeous, gorgeous. I love seeing all these things completed. Becky's got her grandkids there with new hats. Then we've got Carol Burdette. She was following the whip off steps to success. She's trying to organize her yarn, but she was working on this shawl, which is Permission Slip by Melissa Kimmerer. And she used some beautiful yarn for that. That was her WIP to FO. Well, it was her FO to, WIP to FO. Yes, number 1, unblocked. And it is beautiful. I think it looked really, really good. The link to that particular pattern is definitely down below in the show notes. Tiffany Baker, she finished a Musselburgh that her daughter absconded with, it looks like, in the best way. And then Jamie Laurent, Prism Path shawl. Now it was a Christmas cast on from 2024, and she had it on the needles only 47 days, which is really, really beautiful. I love her color choices for this. And again, a beautiful photo. Really, really nice. Now, I will tell you, I have the link down below in the show notes for both the knit and the crochet version of this. I think hers is the knit version, but there is apparently also a very similar pattern that's a crochet version. And I thought, why not? I'll put that up too for our crocheters in the group. Our last WIP to get to is Julie Garland. She did socks. She's been on a sock kick, I think, lately, which is pretty awesome, using Happy as a Clam from the 12 Days of Christmas from 2024. And it looks so, so good. That's a lot of WIPs. How are you feeling about those? A lot of WIPs. Lonnie says X's and O's was the 2023 pattern, she thinks, for Lonely Hearts Club. I think you might be right on that. Absolutely. And then, Lydia, she's thinking of making Charlie a vest with the tweeds for Scotland. Yes, that's what I want to do. We should do our own little knit along, Lydia, because I need to make Jim a vest. It's a joke that's no longer funny, that I've never actually made him anything. He kind of acquired a hat that I made once, but it wasn't knitted directly for him specifically. So I need to make him a vest, and he is definitely a vest wearer. So maybe we need to order our yarn together. I'm going to do blueberry. I'm convinced, because Jim is definitely a blue person. He loves blue. So you never know. I agree, Belinda. Great inspiration, everyone. I know Belinda's working on a rather prodigious project at the moment as well. So I'll be looking forward to seeing her updates of her work in progress for sure. Did you know? Can I ask the question? Are you a text message subscriber for Olive and 2U Studios? I know some of you were, and there was that whole debacle with our newsletter and text message system where some people apparently got kicked off, not because of me, but because of the system. They say that they've worked all that out now, so that's good news. But if you were a text message subscriber and you haven't been getting texts lately, then you want to resubscribe. If you're not a text message subscriber, I encourage you to do that. The way that you do that is simply go to our website. There's a pop-up that will come up that will invite you to subscribe to our email and our text messages. And I'm going to tell you, if you haven't subscribed, you want to. Did you know that this week our text message subscribers had a flash sale? A flash sale. Like it only lasted I think I extended another hour because I was sick and I made a mistake. But it was a flash sale of 4 total hours. They got a code for 30% off. And let me tell you, some of them really made good use of it. I saw some sweater quantities going out of here. So that was a little special thing for our text message subscribers. So, yep, Lonnie says she is a text message subscriber. Lovely surprise. Absolutely. So if you haven't already done so, you want to subscribe for those because sometimes text message subscribers get the first look at new items when they go on the website. They also sometimes get special deals. So you definitely want to be that. Now, sometimes we do that with the Yarny Use as well. So if you're in the Yarny Use group, that's another great reason to be in there because sometimes we roll out specials to them also. But text message subscribers were the group this week. So if you haven't subscribed, I encourage you to do that so that you can be sure to not miss out on that. It is, Karen, it is only US text at the time. That's our carrier can only do that right now. I wouldn't limit it, but that's what we've got to work with at the moment. Hopefully, eventually it will expand beyond that. But I absolutely love that we're able to treat them occasionally. So it's a good incentive to go ahead and subscribe. I don't bomb you every day. Trust me. It's not very often that you get a text message. Now, I will say, because I made a mistake this week, I don't know what happened. Part of the text message got deleted. Again, probably my adult brain this week. So they did get 2 kind of in rapid succession to say, oops, I made a mistake. But to be fair, I get text messages from companies a lot. And I've seen that happen from even bigger companies. So, I mean, we're just tiny and small. Not an excuse, just a reason. So we did give you 2 in quick succession this week just to correct the error. But typically, you don't even get a text every week. I just don't text that often. So our newsletter does come out weekly, and sometimes I will send out additional newsletters. It's rare, but sometimes I do during the week, especially about our virtual stitch night or something that's special that's coming up or it's just hit the shop. Sometimes I can't wait. I want you to know all the things. So do be aware of that. So make sure you're subscribed to the email and the text, and you do that simply by going over to our website. I know I've gotten a lot of emails and interest in Yarn Lounge lately. I'm working on a possible plan for a few months away, potentially. So stay tuned about Yarn Lounge updates as time goes on. I had a really good time in Melbourne. Friday was a week ago at a collaborative event hosted by M&M So Charming and some other good folks. And they brought me over to do a botanical scarf dye experience. I was going to bring in my scarf, but I didn't today. So if you haven't seen, I encourage you to go over to Instagram. We used only flowers and leaves and that sort of thing. And I focused on roses for the day because it was Valentine's Day. And those ladies dyed some gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous scarves. There was one that was almost all pink and it was really well covered and it was beautiful. So if you haven't already, head over to Instagram and take a look at those because I have to say, not because of me, it was because of their artistry in laying down the botanicals and the flowers. They turned out so beautiful. Such beautiful scarves, and it was a really fun event. I was still pretty sick at that event. I actually did a virtual doctor's appointment from my car. After the event, I was in the parking lot. But it was a super fun event, and I wouldn't have missed it for the world. It was a lot of fun happening over there. So yay. Stitch Night this week, I believe, is the week for Needleworks here on Tuesday, and we will not have it. I'll have to cancel because you may remember I had mentioned a while back that I was participating in a the Mourner's Path, which is a grief group, and this is our last week, and it's more than the time allotted for the other weeks. Before I was able to still have it, everybody just kind of came in and started stitching, and then I'd come in later. This week, it's actually our session, and then a worship service, and then a reception. So I'm going to have to cancel Stitch Night here at Needleworks this Tuesday, but we're going to be getting back on schedule. It's been a little waylaid because of being ill. We'll be getting back on schedule for our in-person Stitch Night here. And then, of course, our virtual Stitch Night. Those are on alternate weeks. One time they're in person here at Needleworks, and then the next time they are online virtually. So I did have to cancel this past week virtually as well. But again, you all are awesome. You support each other in the Yarn to Use. And that's what I love about that group. I am convinced that, God forbid, I dropped off the face of the planet tomorrow, I think the Yarn to Use would continue on. It's not about me. It's about what you all do for the group, the ways that you support each other, you take care of each other. And seeing that is so uplifting to me. And I'm grateful for all of it. It's awesome. So thank you for taking care of each other, supporting each other, and sticking in the Yarn to Use and hanging out. Don't forget our February Color Splash Quad Squad. We still have some of those colorways in the shop. That's Papa Bear, that's Crushing on You, Weight of My Heart, and let me think, and Heartbreaker. Gorgeous colors, colorways. All four of them coordinate beautifully together. And I know some more orders have gone out for some of those as well. And like everything else, we can always do a special order if we don't have it currently on your base. But Sherry and Terry are doing a great job of keeping the bases stocked. You can see the yarn behind me. Beautiful, beautiful colorways that are here and ready to be knit and crocheted up. Always a lot of fun here at Olive and 2U Studios. If you're in the Great Yarny Whip Off, don't forget, keep track of your tracking pages. As you finish a tracking page with your stickers, put a photo, post a photo in the Yarn to Use. Let us know where you're at, and your milestone prizes will be coming very soon. So I'm excited about that. It's a lot of fun. Oh, Julie, thank you so much. I appreciate that. I really do. I'm probably going to head out and rest afterwards. But so if you email me, I will get back to you. It may be a little bit delayed, but I'll definitely get back to you. Customer service is still my #1 focus. Do our best to provide really good customer service here at Olive and 2U Studios. So thanks for your kind words, for your support, for your kindness and your caring. And thanks for showing up this morning. And I'm glad that I made it at the right time. You know what? I'm a big proponent of you got to be able to laugh at yourself. I was mortified last week, absolutely mortified to find out that I was here a half hour early. I walked out of here like, oh my gosh, I looked like a moron. But you know, I'm human and those things happen. And I was talking to somebody today who said, oh, I'm not very good at technology. And she knows, she's very balanced. And I said, you know what? You don't have to be good at it because other people are, but you're good at so many other things. And that's what I love about the grace that you all show, not only to me, but to each other. We're all good at something different. And that's why it works together when we come together. All right, y'all, I'm going to head out of here. Thank you so much for being here and showing up this Saturday morning. And again, if you're watching later after Saturday morning, welcome to you too. I hope you've enjoyed the podcast. I'm working on some really cool guests for upcoming episodes. I can't wait. I'm super excited. And there's, in fact, one episode that I'm working on that is going to be very interesting, and it's taking a lot longer to put together, but it may even be a 2-part series that I think you will enjoy. So I'll tell you more about that as time gets closer. Thank you so much. If you haven't already done so, I invite you to subscribe to the channel. Be sure, please give me a thumbs up. It really makes a difference. Spread the word. Post on your Facebook pages. Say, hey, here's a podcast I think people might be interested in. It really helps me out, and I really, really appreciate it. And yeah, take care of yourselves. Stay cozy. Have some time to stitch and enjoy the weekend. And I'll see you in the Yarn to Use. Take care. Bye-bye.